Hi, I'm Sheare and this is Share My Song. When I think about my time living in New York, there's so many moments and songs that are intertwined for me. I think about the times that I'd sit on the subway late at night or sit in the back of a cab when it was like 3 a.m. going home from something. I think about the times walking home and listening to music. And I think that's the nature of New York, is that it's such a moving city, and sort of whatever you're listening to becomes the soundtrack of that moment. But one specific song comes to mind, which is Wait by M83. And it's not even so much the lyrics of the song, but it's more of just the overall emotion that the song encompasses for me. I was working on the Lower East Side at the time as my day job, and I was coming home late one night from work and was walking on the Williamsburg Bridge. So I decided not to take the train. I was gonna walk, and the song came on. And during that time in my life, I just was really romanticizing what New York was and what it wasn't. And part of the fight of that romanticization was that I really wanted there to be this music scene that just didn't exist anymore. Something that was like akin to probably 10 years, more than 10 years ago in New York. And I was just seeing everything about the city that I loved start to disappear. And I was seeing the people that I loved, who made the city that I loved so special, start to disappear. And so anyway, I'm walking on the bridge and the song comes on. And that record as a whole is just one of those like desert island records, but the song and the emotion of it just hit me in this really extreme way. And I think that part of it was because I have this memory of, I used to live near a movie theater, and so I would go to the movies all the time when I was bored, and I'd go alone. And I went to a movie, which was, I think, A Fault Is in Their Stars, I think that's the name of it, but it was a really sad movie, and that song actually plays at the end of the movie. And it's the only movie in recent time that I can think of where like you can audibly hear the entire theater just like hysterically cry. It felt like I was at like a Universal ride where just like the row of seats were just shaking because it was such a sad movie, and that song for some reason was associated with that movie and that sad moment. And it is a sad song, but I think that the idea of coming to this like realization that the city that I loved was never going to be the thing that I thought it was going to be, and that I was starting to outgrow it, and that I needed to leave. I think for some reason that song and that moment just really connected in a meaningful way. And I'm walking on the bridge, and it's probably getting close to midnight, and I'm alone, and I just felt, this wave of emotion of coming to that like realization of like, oh, I'm gonna leave. And oddly enough, like a few weeks later, I was sitting down for coffee with one of my friends who is from New York but lived in LA, and they were back home. And they had mentioned that they had a room, they were going to be leaving their place in LA, and the room was going to be open, and if I wanted it. And I said yeah, and I called my mom, and I was like, well, I'm moving in a month. And it was just a really strange sort of meeting of events that I always associate back to that song.